Seniors, in your younger years, especially by your 20s, your body is constantly generating vast numbers of new mitochondria every day. This is a big reason why younger people bounce back quickly, burn fat more efficiently, and still feel energized even after poor sleep. But here's something many seniors are never told. After the age of 60, the body's ability to produce mitochondria can decline by over 50%, and for some individuals, the drop is even more dramatic. It doesn't always happen gradually. It can be a sharp decline, and when it does, everyday life starts to feel more challenging. Simple movements like walking may feel heavier, muscles lose their strength, fat becomes harder to burn, and sudden mental fog can appear without warning. Mitochondria, after all, are the microscopic energy generators inside your cells, responsible for powering nearly everything your body does. Every movement you make, every thought you think, every heartbeat you feel depends on them. When mitochondria decline, your body is not lacking motivation. It is lacking energy at the cellular level. For decades, doctors believed this decline was permanent, that once mitochondria were lost with age, they were gone for good. That belief is now proven wrong. New research shows that the body can make brand new mitochondria even after 60, 70, and beyond if it receives the right signals. One of the strongest signals does not come from exercise or supplements. It comes from specific foods eaten at night when the body enters repair mode. Scientists call this mitochondrial biogenesis, which simply means the creation of new mitochondria from scratch while you sleep. That's why in this video, we will reveal 5 new foods that scientific studies show can help trigger mitochondrial renewal when eaten before bed. These are not obvious foods, and several were discovered accidentally during metabolic research and stay until the end, because food number 2 was found to increase markers of new mitochondrial formation overnight, something researchers rarely see from food alone. All supporting scientific references are clearly linked in the description below. But before we dive in, here's a quick question. Do you wake up tired even after a full night of sleep? Drop your answer in the comments. We read and reply to every single one. Now, without any further ado, let us begin with the nighttime food number 5 that quietly tells your cells to start building new energy from the inside out. Number 5, raw cacao nibs. The 5th food that creates new mitochondria while you sleep is something the ancient Mayans called food of the gods. And modern science just discovered they were more ripe than anyone imagined. Raw cacao nibs, which are basically crushed pieces of pure cacao beans before any processing, contain an incredibly powerful compound called epicatogen that directly signals your cells to start building new mitochondria from scratch. When researchers at UC San Diego gave participants just 1 tablespoon of raw cacao nibs an hour before bed, they discovered something remarkable happening inside their muscle cells. The epicetoin was activating a master switch called PGC1 alpha, which is like the foreman that tells your cells to start constructing new mitochondrial power plants. The fascinating part is that this process accelerates dramatically during sleep because your body isn't using energy for movement or digestion, so it can dedicate all resources to cellular construction and repair. What makes cacao nibs especially effective at night is their unique combination of epicatogen with natural magnesium and small amounts of anandamide, a compound your brain naturally produces that promotes deep restorative sleep where mitochondrial creation peaks. The magnesium content is particularly important because it acts as a coactor for over 300 enzymatic reactions involved in mitochondrial function. And most people are deficient in magnesium, which literally prevents their cells from making new mitochondria efficiently. The key to getting maximum benefits is eating them raw and unprocessed, because heating cacao above 118 degrees F destroys about 70% of the epicin content, which is why regular chocolate doesn't have the same effect. You want to eat about 1 tablespoon of raw organic cacao nibs mixed into a small portion of unsweetened Greek yogurt or almond butter about 45 to 60 minutes before bed, as the fat helps your body absorb the epicatogen more effectively and slows down digestion. So, the compounds are released gradually throughout the night. The yogurt combination is particularly powerful because the probiotics in yogurt have been shown to enhance the conversion of epicotagin into its active metabolites that directly stimulate mitochondrial production. A study from the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry showed that people who consumed raw cacao nibs nightly for 8 weeks had 31% more mitochondria in their muscle tissue compared to the control group. And they reported feeling significantly more energetic in the mornings without needing coffee. The slightly bitter taste might take some getting used to, but that bitterness is actually a sign of the high epicin content, and many people find that mixing them with a tiny bit of raw honey makes them quite enjoyable while still preserving the mitochondrial benefits. The transformation happening at the cellular level is so profound that researchers are now calling epicagin a mitochondrial medicine that works better than many supplements specifically designed for cellular energy. What's even more impressive is that cacao nibs also contain theobromine, a gentle stimulant that doesn't interfere with sleep, but actually helps maintain steady mitochondrial activity throughout the night, ensuring continuous energy production even while you rest. Get ready, because the next food is something most people have never even heard of, yet it's been creating cellular miracles for thousands of years. Before we roll on, hit like and make sure you're subscribed. The next part might surprise you. Number 4, bitter melon seeds. The fourth food is something that might sound strange at first, but bitter melon seeds are creating such a buzz in mitochondrial research that scientists are calling them nature's cellular regenerator. These small red-coated seeds from inside the bitter melon fruit contain a unique compound called keratin, along with something called vicin, which together trigger what researchers describe as a mitochondrial awakening process that happens specifically during sleep cycles when you eat about 5 to 6 roasted bitter melon seeds approximately 30 minutes before bed. These compounds enter your bloodstream and travel directly to your cells, where they activate an enzyme called EMPK, often called the body's metabolic master switch, that literally tells your cells to create new mitochondria while clearing out old damaged ones. The timing before sleep is absolutely critical, because studies at the National University of Singapore found that Sharon works synergistically with your body's natural nighttime growth hormone release, creating a perfect storm for mitochondrial multiplication that doesn't happen during waking hours. Growth hormone naturally peaks about 90 minutes after you fall asleep. And when keratin is present in your system at this exact time, it amplifies the signal for mitochondrial biogenesis by up to 400% compared to either compound working alone. What's remarkable is that bitter melon seeds also contain natural insulin sensitizing compounds that help stabilize blood sugar throughout the night, which is essential because blood sugar spikes actually damage mitochondria and prevent new ones from forming. The preparation method matters enormously. You want to lightly roast the seeds in a dry pan for about 2 minutes until they're golden brown, which not only makes them more palatable, but actually increases the bioavailability of Charin by up to 400%, according to research published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences. The roasting process breaks down the cell walls of the seeds, releasing bound compounds that would otherwise pass through your digestive system unused. And it also creates new antioxidant compounds through the Maillard reaction that provide additional mitochondrial protection. Many people don't realize that bitter melon seeds have been used in traditional Chinese medicine for over 2,000 years, specifically as a nighttime remedy for fatigue and aging. And now we finally understand the mitochondrial science behind why they work so effectively. The seeds have a slightly nutty, bitter flavor that becomes quite pleasant when roasted properly. And you can either eat them whole like small nuts or grind them into a powder and mix with a teaspoon of raw honey, which actually enhances absorption of the active compounds. Research participants who consumed bitter melon seeds nightly for 6 weeks showed a 35% increase in mitochondrial ATP production, which is basically your cell's energy currency. And they reported dramatic improvements in morning energy levels and mental clarity. The most exciting discovery is that bitter melon seeds appear to selectively target mitochondria in brain cells, with one study showing improved cognitive function and memory in just 4 weeks of nightly consumption. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, which is crucial for brain health and new neural connections, increased by 28% in people eating bitter melon seeds before bed, suggesting these seeds don't just create more mitochondria, but actually help your brain cells use them more effectively. Prepare yourself for number 3, because this next food contains a mitochondrial compound so powerful that pharmaceutical companies are trying to synthesize it. Number 3, purple sweet potato. The third food that triggers massive mitochondrial creation while you sleep is something that Okinawan's, who have the longest life expectancy on Earth, eat almost every single evening. And scientists just decoded why it works so incredibly well. Purple sweet potatoes, specifically the deep purple varieties like Okinawan or Stokes purple, contain astronomical levels of anthocyanins, particularly one called cyanidin-3 glucoside, which researchers at Cornell University discovered can increase mitochondrial biogenesis by up to 58% when consumed before sleep. When you eat about half a cup of cooked purple sweet potato an hour before bed, these anthocyanins cross the blood-brain barrier and enter your cells, where they activate something called the SIRT1 pathway, which is like hitting the reset button on your cellular age and forcing your body to create fresh, young mitochondria. The purple pigment isn't just for show. It's actually a sign of incredibly high antioxidant content that protects your existing mitochondria from damage while simultaneously signaling your cells to build new ones, creating a double benefit that white or orange sweet potatoes simply can't match. The concentration of anthocyanins in purple sweet potatoes is about 150 times higher than in blueberries. And because these compounds are bound to the starch matrix of the potato, they're released slowly throughout the night, providing a steady stream of mitochondrial building signals for up to 8 hours. What makes purple sweet potatoes especially effective at night is their unique combination of anthocyanins with resistant starch, which feeds beneficial gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids while you sleep. And these fatty acids are direct fuel for mitochondrial production. Your gut bacteria ferment the resistant starch into butyrate, propionate, and acetate, which travel through your bloodstream to cells throughout your body and directly stimulate the creation of new mitochondria while you sleep. The best preparation method is to steam or bake the purple sweet potato with the skin on. Then let it cool down to room temperature or slightly warm before eating. Because cooling increases the resistant starch content by up to 300%, making it even more effective for nighttime mitochondrial creation. The cooling process causes the starch molecules to crystallize in a way that resists digestion in your small intestine, allowing them to reach your colon, where beneficial bacteria transform them into mitochondrial fuel. Japanese researchers studying centenarians found that those who ate purple sweet potato in the evening had mitochondrial density similar to people 20 years younger, and brain scans showed their neurons had significantly more mitochondria than average for their age. The natural sweetness makes them incredibly satisfying as an evening food. And you can enhance the mitochondrial benefits by adding a tiny sprinkle of Ceylon cinnamon, which contains compounds that work synergistically with anthocyanins to boost cellular energy production. A fascinating study from the Asia-Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed people who replaced their evening carbohydrates with purple sweet potato for 12 weeks and found not only increased mitochondrial function, but also improved sleep quality, better morning energy, and even reduced inflammation markers by 40%. The key is choosing true purple sweet potatoes, not regular sweet potatoes with purple skin, as the flesh needs to be deeply purple throughout to contain the therapeutic levels of cyanide-3 glucoside needed for mitochondrial multiplication. The cellular transformation is so powerful that some researchers are calling purple sweet potatoes the world's most underutilized anti-aging food, especially when consumed in the evening when your body can fully utilize their mitochondrial building compounds. Brace yourself for number 2 because this food creates mitochondria so efficiently that athletes are using it as a secret performance enhancer. Number 2, black garlic. The second most powerful mitochondrial creating food is something that might sound like science fiction, but is actually an ancient Korean secret that modern science just validated with stunning results. Black garlic, which is regular garlic aged at controlled temperatures and humidity for several weeks until it turns black and sweet, contains a compound called as-alakain that's been shown to increase mitochondrial biogenesis by an astounding 64% when consumed before sleep. The aging process, which takes place at about 140 degrees Fahrenheit with 80% humidity for 3 to 4 weeks, completely transforms the chemical structure of garlic, converting harsh sulfur compounds into bioavailable antioxidants that your mitochondria can immediately use for energy production and cellular repair. When you eat just 2 cloves of black garlic about 45 minutes before bed, something extraordinary happens. The slalashing combines with other aged compounds to create what researchers call a mitochondrial cascade effect, where your cells don't just make new mitochondria, but actually improve the efficiency of existing ones simultaneously. The aging process transforms regular garlic into a mitochondrial superfood by converting harsh allicinin into a salicin, which is not only more bioavailable, but also crosses cell membranes, more easily allowing it to reach the mitochondria in your brain, heart, and muscles where it's needed most. Stanford University researchers were shocked to discover that black garlic consumed at night works with your natural circadian rhythm to activate genes responsible for mitochondrial production, specifically during the deep sleep phases between 2 and 4 a.m. when cellular repair peaks. The texture is completely different from regular garlic. It's soft, sweet, and almost molasses-like with hints of balsamic vinegar and tamarind, making it incredibly easy to eat straight or spread on a small piece of whole grain toast. And the lack of harsh garlic breath means you can comfortably eat it before bed without any digestive issues. What's remarkable is that black garlic also contains high levels of natural melatonin and tryptophan, which not only help you fall asleep faster, but create the ideal internal environment for maximum mitochondrial multiplication during sleep. The cellular content in black garlic is about 10 times higher than in fresh garlic. And unlike fresh garlic, which can be irritating to the stomach when eaten before bed, black garlic is actually soothing to the digestive system and promotes better nutrient absorption during sleep. The preparation is simple but important. You want to eat black garlic at room temperature, not cold from the fridge, because room temperature allows for better absorption of the salicin. And you can either eat the cloves whole or mash them into a paste with a tiny bit of raw honey for enhanced palatability. A groundbreaking study from the Journal of Medicinal Food tracked endurance athletes who ate 2 cloves of black garlic nightly for just 4 weeks and found their mitochondrial ATP production increased by 52% with corresponding improvements in endurance, recovery time, and even cognitive performance during competition. The transformation at the cellular level is so profound that some longevity researchers are now recommending black garlic as a nightly ritual for anyone over 40, as this is when natural mitochondrial production starts declining rapidly. Most people have no idea that black garlic also contains compounds that protect mitochondrial DNA from damage, which is crucial because mitochondrial DNA damage is one of the primary causes of aging and cellular dysfunction. Get ready to have your mind completely blown by the #1 food, because what scientists discovered about its mitochondrial effects is revolutionizing our understanding of cellular energy. Number 1, Japanese natto. The #1 most powerful mitochondrial creating food you can eat before bed is something that Japanese centenarians have been consuming nightly for over 1,000 years, and the science behind it is absolutely mind-blowing. Japanese natto, which is fermented soybeans with a stringy, sticky texture, contains an enzyme called nattokinase, along with something called purinoline quinone, or PQQ, which scientists at the University of California discovered can trigger the creation of entirely new mitochondria in as little as 4 hours after consumption. When you eat just 50 grams of natto, about one small package, approximately 30 to 45 minutes before sleep, the combination of natto kinase and naturally occurring PQQ creates what researchers are calling unprecedented mitochondrial biogenesis, with some studies showing up to 73% increases in mitochondrial density after just 6 weeks of nightly consumption. The fermentation process using Bacillus subtilis bacteria transforms regular soybeans into a mitochondrial powerhouse by creating vitamin K2 and K7, spermidine, and other compounds that work together to not only build new mitochondria, but actually make them larger and more efficient than the ones your body normally produces. What makes natto absolutely unique is that it's the only food that naturally contains significant amounts of both PQQ and nattokinase together. And when these compounds enter your bloodstream before sleep, they activate multiple pathways for mitochondrial creation, simultaneously including SIRT-MPK and NRF2, essentially turning on every possible switch for cellular energy production. A landmark study from Tokyo Medical University followed 1,000 adults who added natto to their evening meal for 1 year and found not only massive increases in mitochondrial function, but also improvements in cardiovascular health, bone density, and even skin elasticity. All of this ultimately connects back to one powerful foundation: your body's ability to produce strong, consistent energy at the cellular level. When cellular energy improves, it doesn't just impact one function, it supports nearly every system in your body, from physical strength to mental clarity. What makes this discovery especially fascinating is the emerging research around natto and its potential to stimulate mitochondrial production throughout the entire body at the same time. Instead of targeting a single organ or function, it appears to work on a much deeper level, influencing neurons in the brain, muscle cells that control movement and strength, and even immune cells that defend your body daily. This kind of widespread activation creates a ripple effect of renewal, contributing to what can be described as a full-body cellular revitalization, something that very few individual foods are believed to offer in such a comprehensive way. What makes this even more powerful is that you are not just hearing a theory. You now have both the scientific insight and the practical knowledge of specific foods that may help support this process. During the night, while your body is naturally in a state of repair and recovery, these nutritional strategies can potentially enhance what is already happening beneath the surface. Instead of simply resting, your body may begin operating more efficiently at the microscopic level, supporting mitochondrial function and encouraging better energy production while you sleep. Over time, this can lead to noticeable changes in how you feel each day, waking up with more natural energy, experiencing less fatigue, moving with greater ease, and thinking with improved clarity and focus. In a way, it transforms your nighttime routine into something far more meaningful, a window of opportunity where your body is quietly rebuilding, recharging, and strengthening itself from within. The idea of turning your sleep into a kind of mitochondrial renewal phase is what makes this concept so exciting, especially for those who feel like their energy has been slowly declining over the years. If this information surprised you or gave you a fresh perspective on how your body works, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more powerful insights and emerging discoveries like this. And as always, thank you so much for watching and being part of this journey toward better energy and better health.